Hello, welcome to the TV room. David Bradley here. What we're looking at here is the back of a 1702 monitor. It's lovely, but things gather dust. They do, in a good way, like in all these little holes for air vents and things. A good way to get any dust and stuff out is with a little brush. And going back and forth and out. And it does loosen it up. Sorry that I know this is a bit noisy. Now there's some other marks on here that need to be dealt with, and I will, of course, use a magic eraser on this. And why would I do this all? Well, because I think this monitor, this should be good. Wow. I don't want to do that on my face. I don't know if you can see that or not. See these ridges here? They just get full of stuff. Just the way they are. Anyway, this monitor may be leaving the nest, and I don't want to get a whole bunch of water into these grooves. And it doesn't mean that the monitor isn't lovely. It doesn't mean it doesn't work very well. It just, things happen. Now, when I do go at this with the magic eraser, which I will do, which I will probably record, I will make sure anything that is around the vents here is when things are very, the magic eraser is very dry. Very dry indeed. Ooh. These ridges are just natural dust collection places. They just are. It's just the way they are. And mostly, of course, they're here for ventilation, airflow, because things that overheat, well, it's not good. There is this thing called thermal runaway, where if something gets hot, then it draws more amperage. If it draws more amperage, it gets hotter. And when it gets hotter, it draws more amperage, and poof, bad things happen. So let's just have a look around here. This looks pretty magnificent. And yes, it has the door. But I don't see any terrible scratches or other things. There's just, some dust. Oh. That's the way it is. Things get dusty. With this. It's going pretty well. Now I suppose what I should do is lay this on its face. Not so much dust gets in here because it's not on the top. But It's not a bad thing. Ooh, screw. Oh no, there's another screw. Means I probably have another one lingering. Anyway, as I say, not so much dust gets in the bottom, but it's not a bad thing. To just go at all the orifices and scoop out as much before the magic eraser comes to town. Indeedy. Always. There's always a little. But that looks quite a bit better. Oh, from when I began. Now there are, up on the top here, there are some marks. And I don't know what they are. As I'm looking through the vents here, looking for any other things that I may have missed. It's hard to tell what these are, but as I say, with the magic eraser, I will make sure that it is exceptionally dry. My dad used to have an expression, he'd like something slightly moist. Well, I want it even less so than that. Just, or as James Bond might say, a martini, painfully dry. Whew. Painfully dry. Now I wonder if this is even worth looking. There should be another screw down here. There should be. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, I don't like losing screws. So, in order to keep this rolling, I think what I'm going to do, I can do this. See, on some iPhones, you can pause and some you cannot. So I think what I'm going to do is pause, get a magic eraser, and some water, and have a go at this some more. And then, I suppose, it would be sporting to plug it in. I know it works. I've been using it. But one last try. Anyway, I'm going to pause now, and then I'll come back. So, and by the way, this brush thing here, it's wonderful. It's kind of like a big toothbrush thing. I don't know where I got it. There's more than one, and I am fond of it. I'm just taking my finger to some of these little white marks on here, and they really don't seem to want to come. Maybe the magic eraser will help. We'll see. I'll be back. Hello, I'm back. I have here a tall container and a magic eraser. I'm putting the magic eraser in. I'm going to squeeze it out a whole bunch. And then this thing here, I'm going to set on the floor. And before I go at the spots here that have too much of the fins, oh yeah, there's still too much water. Squeeze it out. squeeze it out and rub a dub dub. See, there's not really much of anything on here, but it's funny how even though there's not really anything here, just over the years, look, there's not much, but you can see a slight changing of the color. You can. I'm going into all the little nooks and crannies, as well as the big areas, just to get rid of anything that might be lingering. As I say, it's a great monitor. They've always been great. And this is a very clean example of a great monitor. It's funny though, every time you clean something and you get to see every little spot that isn't just exactly perfect. Because when you get like all these little crack things here, and then, oh, I see just a few little spots on the back here, and I suppose it's not a bad thing. Just go across the top of all where we did the dusting. And see, there's not a whole bunch coming up, but there is stuff. There is stuff. So, go back over here. Undo the sides. Undo the top. It's unfortunate. I can see inside of some of these little ridges some little stuff. But nothing terrible. Just a little bit. And then we'll get around to the front. This is where, of course, everything can be seen, because everything is regularly being seen. Okay. I know you can't see what I'm doing now. I'm just going at the sacred door, and that is also part of what often is missing from these. And I do believe that there are people who 3D print them, and that's all dandy. I like 3D printing things. I've not done it, and I wouldn't be bent out of shape if I had a 3D printed version. That looked just dandy. That would be dandy. Dandy, 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 dandy. Oh, oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Nothing like dropping a magic eraser on the floor. So, as you see, even though this is a very clean monitor, there are there is stuff that has gathered, especially right in this corner. Look at that. So I'm going to put this back into the water and squeeze, squeeze, get as much out as I can. Lots of dirt. And then the water. Oh yeah. Just keep on squeezing. And then I'm going to put this back on the floor so it doesn't turn into a disaster here. Then weight my hand. Oh, I see. There's a spot here. Now you can't see this, but just by the power button, it's not to be surprised. On either side of it, there's a little spot. And maybe the top of the power button too. Just a little bit. Now, it is tough inside here, but you gotta try. Sorry, I'm right now going out inside the... See, look at that. That's inside the door. Maybe I'll do the top edge of the door. The one thing, of course, I don't want to do, I mean, these doors can come off, but I really don't want to hurt the door. Okay. Or anything here. So I've got this leaning up now, so I can get a better look at everything. Everything. Oh, there's even just a little schmutz on the Commodore thing, but not much. Just a little schmutz. Ah, now here's where maybe I should have done this before, just down in the crack along the edge. Oh, see. Now it is very hard to get around. Ooh, where the dials are. Because it's tight. It's very, very tight. But do your best. Get in every little nook and cranny. Some people say, oh, magic racers, they're doing horrible things, horrible, horrible, horrible things. I have not found that. I found that these can take an old thing and turn it into, well, it's going to be, look, there are some things, it doesn't do yellowing, and it doesn't do scratches. It just doesn't. But there is, look at that, still. I mean, this is pretty clean. But it does take off the filth of the ages. Which just basically means just gathered dust that becomes built in. Now, there was one other thing here. What did I do with it? This is not it, but this is what the fellow is after, but this is not the one. See, this one, sorry, this is a boss. It's yellowed. But I had another one. Oh, I know what I did. I put it in the chair. I am mighty sure that if I just give it a little more wipage with this, that it will look very much close to perfect. Because, well, it is pretty much close to perfect. It's just got, I mean, it's been used. It's been enjoyed. It has been. All right. Oh, no. Not going to drop this. And I'm not going to do this over the monitor. I am not, so I'll go over everything I can get at, which is basically everything. Not really. I'm not really seeing much on the magic eraser, but it does look cleaner and shinier, maybe just because it's wet. Maybe. Alright, let's use the button. Okay. And another thing, it's not a bad thing to try, is wrap this thing around the cord and run it down the whole length of it. Just see what's what. And, well, maybe there was a little. Maybe a little. But I really don't see. Oh yeah, no. Okay, so there. That indentation there along there with the dirt, that would be from the cord. So, if it showed up that much that time, maybe I should do it one more time. Oh yeah. There's some more little bit of filth. So, when we see filth, we do it again. We do. Ooh. And, you know what? Even a bit more filth. Maybe it has more than what we think. Maybe it does. Alright, well that looks pretty fine. And the monitor looks pretty fine. It does. So there. If all goes as planned, these things will leave the nest. I'm just going at the little corner here. And it's funny because I'm not sure that there's anything there. I'm really not sure. I'm not. Anyway. Magic eraser. Magical. 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 just helps bring out the loveliness. Now, let's look at the back again. There are still some of these little white dots. I don't know what they are from. They're mostly gone, but not completely gone. So, maybe I'll take a little screwdriver and just see if that makes any difference at all. And really, not really. Here's one that's, I guess, the most noticeable. Well, I guess if I scrape it a little bit, it might come out a bit. But I don't want to scratch things. It's a fine line. A very fine line. Alright, let's see if this makes any difference. And I would say maybe a little, but not much. Actually, right here, I just see a little mark that I otherwise would not have seen. A little stroke there. And across the top one more time. But that's looking pretty fine. It is. So there. We'll see how this goes. Oh, yeah. A little bit on the switch. So later on, now I know I really haven't dripped anything in there, but later on, I'll just give it another try. Oh, there's a little schmutz in there. But I think he'll be pleased. I think. So, there. Things are prettier. So, you know, now that I'm here and I have this magic eraser here, I'm inspired to maybe have a look at something else. So stay tuned to the next exciting episode. Bye for now.